How to create a quiz or test in Unified Classroom. Hi, this is Steve Daly. I'm a computer science teacher at Central High School, and this will be an easy demonstration of how to create a quiz or test in Unified Classroom. To create a quiz or assignment, you need to create assessment items within Unified Classroom with one or more questions. After you've created assessment items, you combine one or more assessment items to form an assessment. Next, you want to assign the assessment to a class, and finally you want to proctor the assessment. So in block layout, this is what it looks like. You take an assessment item, like for instance section A or item A, you put 1, 2, or more questions in there. Then you can also make an assessment, maybe item B. You have 1, 2, 3, or more questions. And once you've made these 2 or more assessment items, you can combine them into one assessment with item A, B, C, and so forth. Once you have the assessment created, you want to assign it to a class. And once you assign it to a class, you can go ahead and proctor the assessment. So in Unified Classroom, you'll be doing all this in the library. Over here on the left-hand side, you click Library. And here you can click Assessment Items. And this is where you actually create the blocks of questions. In my example, I'm going to be using a sample quiz or test here with section 1 and section 2 with 5 different types of questions. A true, false, multiple choice with one answer, a multiple choice with multiple answers, a match question, and a basically a fill-in codes into a state. To start here, under a library, you want to go to Assessment Items and hit Create. And again, you just set up a name. Put in your grade levels from your start to end. And your subject matter. Down here on the right, you want to click Next. And start with new questions. First question is going to be the true-false question. Here you want to write in your text for your question. Again, back on my sheet, a lot of you probably have this in Word. You can actually just do a copy and paste. True, false is already listed. I generally have each question set to 10 points. That way, if you have multiple choice, you can do 5 points each or 2 points each. True, false, the earth is flat. You want to put the correct answer. And up here, this is what it's going to look like on the actual test or quiz. Once you're done, hit Next. Standards, we're not going to get into that with this video here, but you can add standards and save the question. So there's the first question. I'm going to add 2 questions in this particular assessment item. New question. The next one is going to be multiple choice standard, which only has 1 correct answer. Again, I'm going to go back. Easiest way to do it is click on your quiz or test and copy that over. And here you can fill in as many questions as you want. If you want multiple, you can go ahead and add multiple questions here. I find it easier to delete out these choices first, and then you can go back and actually fill in each one of the planets. So I've added all the planets I'm going to list. I'm going to only list the first 5. I'm going to give 10 points for the correct answer. You notice that there's round buttons here, bullets. So that means you can only choose one. Second planet, of course, is Venus. And I like to shuffle the options around to make it a little more difficult. If you did have multiple response, you could change it right here. Again, up here, this is what it's going to look like. Again, it's already shuffled the planets around for you. You need to hit next and save the question. So in this particular assessment item, we're just going to have 2 questions. We're done with new questions. Hit next. Again, this is what it all looks like here. And hit save. So I have my first block of questions. To create the second one, again, you go up to Create. Fill in the blocks as needed. All right. My next question, what are the Central High School colors? That takes 2 answers. I'm going to copy that over. So new question, multiple choice with multiple response. Again, I like to clear these out. It's a little easier. And we can start putting in some colors. Here I'm going to put in 5 points each because it does require 2. Again, our colors are black and gold. Select the correct answers. You can shuffle the answers. Well, here under More Options, because we have multiple choices and multiple response, if you want an exact match, you would have to get both black and gold correct in order to get any credit. I prefer to give them at least some credit here, so you can do a partial response. That way they can at least get 5 points. At least they'll get partial points for each correct answer. And over here again is your sample question. And hit next. Save question. Our next type will be match the grade with a name. So these are going to be matching 4 different responses. So new question. Classify match in order. We're going to be using match list. Fill in your question, match the grade with a name. And we're going to have 4, so we're going to have to add 1 in each here. Again, it doesn't have to be matched up completely. I just filled in all of the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. And down here, you want to set the correct answer. Here, I'm going to set to 2 points. And you want to set up the correct responses here. Okay. You can have duplicate response. Again, I'm going to shuffle the options. Hit next. Save the question. And we have one final question. This is the one where you're going to fill in the two-letter state code onto the map. So I'm going to take a copy of this map and put this into the quiz. We're going to use fill in the blanks here. Label image with drag and drop. At this point, you want to go ahead and put the picture in that you're going to be using. If you hit the plus sign, it'll bring you up a Windows file editor. And I have the image here under New England. Okay. Now there's going to be 6 choices. So I'm going to add 3 more. And we're going to put in each state code here. I've put in each one of the 6 New England state codes here. On the actual map, you need to reassign these boxes here. I'm going to make it a little smaller. We'll have Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. To get to get the additional boxes, you click up here. Make yourself a box. Do Massachusetts. Then we have Connecticut. And Rhode Island. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll give each correct answer 2 points. And now we can match them up for the correct answers. Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. We're not going to have duplicate responses. Again, we're going to shuffle it up. And up here on the right, you're going to see what it's going to look like on the actual test or exam. Hit next. Save question. And here we have our 3 questions. Oh, I forgot to say match the state right here. If you want to edit something on the far right, click on Open. Up here, you want to compose a question. The question was, write the 2-letter state. Here, we're going to have them actually put the actual 2-letter state. So match the 2-letter state code with the correct state in the image. Next, save question. And here you have the 3 questions. Next, and save. So I have PD 2020 Part 1, PD 2020 Part 2. Next thing I want to do is combine these 2 assessment items into an actual assessment. So I go back to Library, Assessments, and we're going to create this new assignment. This one I'm just going to call PD 2020. Sample quiz. Again, you can put in your maximum and minimum grade levels. Subject. Answer each question. Online only, I generally just use this. And type here, again, you can use formative, summative, and so forth. Most quizzes are summative and so forth. Next. Here you're going to have 2 new sections that you just created. Add the items. So I'm selecting both PD Part 1, Part 2. Hit Next. And save and close. There you go, PD 2020. Next, you want to go back to the home page here. And create the assignment. I'm going to put this in homeroom for now. Next, you want to go ahead and assign the assessment to your class. Back on the main dashboard page up here, pull this menu down here, you go to Assessments. Most of you are familiar with this, assignments here. If you click Assessments, you can go ahead and add the assessment. You want to give it a name. If you like, you can give it a description. Make sure it's set as assessment. And here is where you choose the file that you just created. PD 2020 is what we called it. Had 5 questions, that's correct. Okay. Kiosk mode, I generally use that in the classroom to stop them from hopping off this screen to other websites to look up the answer. Because we're remote learning, you should have that off. Randomized items should be on. I like to have the students be able to look up their answers and responses. Okay. You can set a time limit if you like. Okay. And you probably want to unlock it here so that the students can do this work remotely. Due date, you can set your due date. Setting this back to June 19th because this particular class was from last semester. Set your points, number of points and so forth. Count and final grade. I'm not going to do that here because this is a sample. And publish scores. Okay. Save and close. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and proctor the test to the class. Here's the test. Hit proctor assignment. And you can select all the students if you like, or only some of them. I'm going to just select the one student I'm going to be testing here. Up here under Actions, you can resume and unlock the quiz. All right, now we're signed in as the actual student in Unified Classroom. So this is the student view. Here you can see our test. And over here on the right-hand side, you want to click on Take Assessment. Go ahead and accept the identification information warning and click Start. And here's our sample quiz. What are Central High School's colors? We're going to select one correct one and one wrong one here. Just to give you an idea. We're going to match these up here. 12th grade is senior, 9th grade freshman, 11th grade is junior, and 10th grade is sophomore. Okay. And then again, we'll match the states up. Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire. Okay. Question 202, again, these are the two blocks here. Even though it shows two questions, you have multiple questions in each block. True or false, the Earth is flat. Of course, that's false. Second planet, again, is Venus. Finish and submit. Now we'll go back to the teacher view, and on the teacher view here, we'll go ahead and look at the scoring for that particular quiz we just did. And for my student here, the first block, he got both questions correct. And the second part, he got 64.3%. And again, you can see that he should have picked black and gold instead of gold and green. Everything else is correct. So that's how you do a quiz or test in Unified Classroom.